Hey guys, what's going on? It's the Chinist. It is April 5th, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day, and I have my new haul here of 15 total with 13 different titles. So, kicking it off, we have Rock Candy Mountain. I was on the fence of picking this one up, to tell you the truth, so I don't know too much about this one. It's about a hobo. I think he was a Army veteran, and he's going through and he's looking for this mythical, magical place called Rock Candy Mountain. So along his journey to find this place, and he has to there's a lot of hobos who I guess maybe has information about this place. I'm not really sure. It's like something about the hobo underground here, but he has to fight quite a bit of these hobos along his journey to this mythical place that he's looking for. So this one I heard was really heavy on the comedy side, and I was on the fence because the artwork doesn't really grab me. This is more of like a 2 out of 5 in my opinion on the artwork side. So I'm really hoping that the storyline and the comedy carries this one for me. So yeah, looking forward to reading this one, and read everything open-minded, of course. Alright, so next up we have Brutal Nature, Concrete Fury. So I actually have one back issue, number 1, that came out I guess last month. Number 2 came out today. So I just read through Brutal Nature, the first series, which happens I think like in the 1800s. This is when the Spanish conquistadors are coming in and searching through South America. So the first arc, the first series is, again, set back in the 1800s, is about the main character's name was, I think, Ick or Ip, something of that nature. So he lives in the Amazon rainforest. He's a rainforest dweller, and he has a magical mask. And not everyone knows about magic and things of that nature, and I believe it's just objects from what we've seen so far. So his adversary in that first series, he also had a magical item that allowed him to transform. So man, that first series really blew me away. I didn't really hear anyone reading the first series. I think it just came out last year, or maybe the beginning of last year. So yeah, I don't really, I never really saw it, that first series on any haul videos or anything of that nature. So this artwork is very, looks like the same artist from what I recall. This artwork is pretty high up there on my, my scale. I say about a 4 out of 5, 4.25 out of 5. And again, I'm hoping that the storyline was as good as that first series, and I'm definitely going to have that as a recommendation for the graphic novel haul. Okay, next up we have number 4 out of a 5 series, I think, if I recall that correctly, for The Rise of Captain Atom. So, again, he was one of these guys I didn't really know, anything too much other than what I was exposed to in the animated Justice League or Justice League Unlimited TV series. So, I was, went into this open-minded, and number 1 was kind of slow for me. Number 2 started kind of picking up, and you see in this series that he actually, he's in the past, I think in the 60s or late 50s or early 60s. And he explodes, and he actually travels into current time. And I think maybe after this arc is completed, he's going to go on and join up with the Justice League of America, I believe. But I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So yeah, I'm really getting invested into this character here. I am one of the few, I think, the few out there in the minority who enjoys Justice League of America so far. So yeah, I'm looking forward. I really like this character. I'd like to see him join up with the team. He would be the powerhouse there. So yeah, Captain Atom. Okay, next up we have Nova. So, I am all over Champions, and I'm trying to get a little bit more into their characters, because I'm just kind of getting back into comics on the Marvel side. So, is it not Sam Wilson, Sam Alexander, I think? This is the current Nova, the child from Champions. So, in this storyline, Rick Rider, the original Nova, comes back to life. He was actually murdered in the cancer world by Thanos, I believe, if that's correct. So here's Rick Rider here. So there's a whole, we got to figure out what's going on with Rick Rider. He sees, or from time to time, he'll see people as zombies, or maybe that's what the Cancerverse people look like there. I'm not really sure. So yeah, so they're going on their own adventure here. You have this creature is coming back. I'm not sure if the creature is from the Cancerverse or what's going on there, but seems to be from another dimension, from another portal. So yeah, pretty good action, pretty good storyline. The dialogue is funny from time to time, and yeah, really looking forward to jumping into Nova. This is the first Nova series I've ever picked up. Okay, next up we have Faith. So again, I've been all over Valiant this past couple of months now, maybe the past 6 months now, since I've been into comics again. And so not too long ago, just a couple weekends back, I read through quite a bit of Valiant. I read through all of the Harbinger series, everything that was out there. Of course, I will be doing a recommendation on what I read, what I would suggest on the Valiant side, because, you know, I kind of started with Faith, started with Harbinger Renegades, and kind of worked my way back from there. So yeah, looking forward to doing that video, but Faith has been one to where, you know, she was at the very beginning. She actually got her powers from Peter, who activated her. You know, I was unaware of that, and so yeah, I really got into Faith's background. I was able to read through all of her series so far, her mini-series she had before this ongoing series started as well. Really enjoyed it, man. So she's, you know, just like a younger, you know, not totally in your face, but I don't know, she brings like a youthful aspect to it that I guess, I don't know, I don't really see. You know, Champions is a little bit younger. This is more towards like, you know, college age, you know, geared for that market. So yeah, really enjoy Faith so far. You know, enjoy the Harbinger runs, and really looking forward to see what's in the future there. Okay, so next up we have Slayer, and it seems like #1 came out, you know, months ago. It didn't seem like it was last month by any means, but so, you know, Slayer is a heavy metal band, and you know, more of a speed thrash, not thrash, but more of a I guess more of a speed metal type of band. You know, I really thought this was going to be about the band. Man, this is nothing about the band. You know, the main character. So the first series like really shocked me how good the storyline actually was. You have this like a neo-Nazi motorcycle band gang who is out there. You know, they wreak havoc. You know, they kill without a whim. You had someone who kind of double-crossed him, went to the inside. He got framed for some stuff. You know, they went back. They kind of killed people that he liked, that he loved. So he's out looking for revenge now at this point in time. He has a partner in crime who's going to help him out, and he's going after this this biker gang. So yeah, that first series like blew me away. I had no idea it would actually be that good. So I'm really looking forward to see. And it's a pretty short series, only a 3-issue series. So really looking forward to see how this one finishes up. But man, I would suggest this one. It just has something different, you know, murder-esque, you know, gory type of scene. All right, so speaking about Champions, we have Champions #7, and I'm sorry, are they the Reavers, I believe? What is that group called? The Freelancers. So yeah, so you know, I actually had to go back because I didn't really remember the last issue. I remember it being just an average read for me. You know, I couldn't remember why, but yeah, after I kind of like skimmed over that last issue again online. You know, I really, you know, I was looking forward for them to, you know, have like a good group, you know, like the band of evil mutants type deal to, you know, to always be there for their antagonist. And, you know, then they introduced the Freelancers, and, you know, the Freelancers just really seem to be like a B-rated team, you know, and the Champions are as strong. I mean, even with the Hulk, you know, or, you know, with the Hulk there, it should be obvious, but they're basically the Avengers. They're as strong as the Avengers. You know, I'm really looking for like a powerhouse type of team to go against them. They need someone, you know, really strong, you know, really evil to really offset, you know, who they are. So this team, the Freelancers, did not do it for me. So yeah, looking forward to see, you know, what happens here in this issue, and see you know, where the Champions go from here. But that #6 was just the average read for me, surprisingly. Okay, so next up we have Extremity. #2, #1 was excellent. Highly suggest for y'all go pick that up. I think the second print came out today, if I recall that correctly. Maybe next week. So yeah, this is like a post-apocalyptic type of world. You know, you have different communities all over the place. It's kind of like Mad Max. And of course you have some that are just, you know, really evil. They go in there, just kind of slaughter people. Well, this main star, you know, the female, who was the artist of the group, of the civilization that she's in, the opposing civilization came in, slaughtered all of her family, and they actually cut off her right hand, the hand that she actually draws with. So you connect with this character right away. The artwork is there for for this type of storyline, in my opinion. I'd say the artwork's like a 3.5, 3.75 out of 5, but it really goes well, paired off really well with the storyline here. So yeah, so really interested in seeing what's going on here. The action that's in here is excellent. The dialogue is there for me so far, so I have high expectations for this title here, Extremity. So I'm hoping that it performs, how I envision here. Okay, so next up we have Justice League, and I am on the very last story arc here to see if this is going to be a continuation in my pull box or not. And so of course I've said in the past, Justice League so far has been just completely mediocre. I thought the crossover with Suicide Squad, I did enjoy that storyline, but everything back on the Justice League team, it just seems to be just mediocre at best. Nothing. There's some good action. The artwork is very, very, very decent. But yeah, some of the storylines just didn't complete. They just weren't really there for me. So again, I'm giving it just this one last storyline to see, this last story arc, to see if I'm going to continue on or not. And hopefully I do continue on. I'm rooting for Justice League, so we shall see what happens here. Okay, next up we have Powerless. So I think this one actually came out last week as well. None of the shops I think that I went to had it. So I had to order this one last week, came in this week. So this one seemed pretty interesting to me. This is by Vault. I think they're just getting kicked off here recently this year, I think. But this is a world, to where everyone has superpowers. Like every single person in the world has superpowers. Then along comes this virus, and I forgot what the virus is called, but the virus actually takes their power away to where they become human. Which is, completely different in the civilization or the society that they live in here. So yeah, this one seemed to be a different storyline. I thought it was pretty intriguing to me. This artwork is okay, decent. I'd say, maybe 2.75 out of 5. But it was really a storyline that intrigued me, so I'm hoping for the best here. I think number 2, I think this one came out pretty quick to where I think number 2 comes out maybe week after next. I think it was like 3 weeks apart. Okay, so next up we have Star Wars number 30, and this has been a pretty good run so far in my opinion. I've enjoyed pretty much almost all the storylines, the story arcs that they put out so far. There's a couple that was kind of mediocre, but yeah, I still enjoyed reading it. I am a huge Star Wars fan, but I don't think I'm overrating the storylines I'm reading, in my opinion. So anyways, we're able to see through Ben Kenobi's journal, we're able to see a secret mission that Yoda conducted in the past. This is way before Order 66 happened. So this has been pretty cool so far. Yoda goes to this planet, and it's actually in the material is where this force is, so it's a little bit different from what we've experienced in the past. They're combining, they're fast forwarding. We're able to see catch up with Luke now, who's dealing with this same band in the future. So yeah, good action, good storylines. I would suggest Star Wars for anyone who hasn't picked it up and enjoys Star Wars. I would suggest to pick up the trade paperbacks that are out there. Okay, so next up we have Savage Things. This has been pretty awesome. Number 1 came out. This is number 2. The premise was there for me. You have a kids who were kind of kidnapped at an early age. They kind of fit a profile. So the government kind of, I'm sorry, I can't recall if it's the government or a private company, but they kidnapped them, they trained them, they put them through all types of torture and strenuous challenges, to where they're like secret agent type of mentality and physiques and things of that nature. So they caught them when they were young. They've grown up a bit to where they're all teenagers now. Something goes wrong with the little experiment that they're doing. Either the funding or something happened to where the government or the private company is looking to terminate them, and things did not go well. Some of them escaped, and they're teaming up, and they're going after the people who originally kidnapped them as children, and try to get revenge and things, and to stop any future kids from going through the same ordeals that they did. So yeah, this the number 1 was great. The The artwork is there for me. I'd say 3.5 out of 5 in my opinion. So yeah, this the storyline could go all different directions. I'm really hoping for the best here. Okay, so next up we have the story adaptation of Rogue One. I was not a fan of the movie, really at all. And, there's a couple, cool scenes, but overall I did not enjoy the movie. I did pick up the story adaptation of, Episode 8, and they had a few scenes that are just a little bit different that kind of added to the story. So I'm hoping for that here. I'm hoping for just a few other things, like, that one frame that just gives you like a little bit more explanation, like, why didn't he do this, or why didn't she do that, or what happened to this person, after they left. So, there's some hidden things in here that kind of show you every now and again, give you just a little bit more than what the movie showed you, or even like any deleted scenes or anything else, beyond that. So yeah, I really pick up the movie adaptations for this, for this few frames, that are really valuable to me. Alright, so last up we have my most anticipated read for this week, which is XMen Gold. So I jumped in with XMen Prime. I was not a fan of XMen Prime, but I'm still hoping for the best for both XMen Gold and XMen Blue, which comes out next week. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this this read here, and this 2-page cover art looks great. So yeah. So this is, I'm obviously aware of all the characters. I've kept up with a lot of the story arcs that are out there on YouTube. I just haven't collected X-Men in a while. I've seen, I do have a couple crossovers I have not read yet. But, I really started with Death of X and then moved into the X-Men versus Inhumans. And here we are, man. This is it. X-Men, I started out with X-Men when I first started collecting back in '86. And, man, when I think about comics, I think about X-Men. That's what I always kind of gravitate towards, towards the late 1990s. They started coming up with all these various, after Age of Apocalypse, they came out with, tons of just titles that just diluted the X-Men in general. I got out of it then, and yeah, so just jumping back into it now, really hoping for the best. So yeah, that's going to be it for this week's new haul. I have a graphic novel haul that should be coming out this week, as well as a graphic novel recommendation to follow that. So yeah, that's it for this week. Should you like what you see here, please like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you later.